Hello, everyone. I am Coach Greta. If you want to know the tips, tricks, and hacks to make the law of attraction work for you so you can create the life you want, you are in the right place. Today, I am very excited because I am talking to a very special guest. Her name is Adelita Lucia Smith. She is an evidential medium, Reiki master teacher, mother of 4, grandmother of 8. She's a writer, poet, healer of body, mind, and soul, and she's a lover of animals. Adelita means noble. Lucia means light. So her name means she's a noble light. Adelita lives in Phoenix, and she has come to us now today to introduce you to the wonderful work that she does for the world. I am so happy to have you here. Welcome, Adelita.
Thank you for having me, Greta.
So, when my friend Diane introduced you to me, I was very intrigued by the work that you do and by your mission. And before we dive into your work, I would like to ask you, what is your mission? What is the reason why you do what you do?
I do it to share love and to help others know that they are not alone. And through the process of losing people, I want them to know that our loved ones are still with us. Energy changes, so our souls never die. We leave our physical bodies, but I want to leave that message with everyone that I meet so I can heal them through that and bring them peace.
Wow, that's such a wonderful mission and such a gift to the world. And how exactly do you go about doing this, fulfilling this mission?
I give readings, and I also am a published writer. I write books, and that is usually how I get my messages across. I get things out through writing.
Oh, how wonderful. In fact, I happen to have your first 2 books here. It's this one called Fade and Collateral Damage. And I've started reading them, and they are these beautiful poems. And not just beautiful, there's a rawness to them. So there's real emotion, and I get through reading them, I feel like I get to know you, and I get, without you telling me explicitly what your history is, I feel like I get a glimpse into your life experience, and I think that is really beautiful. But I was wondering if you could share with me your journey. How did you come to publish these books, and why?
Sure. Basically, like I said, writing for me has always been like a release valve. I'm able to deal with things in that sense. As a child, it was difficult growing up and not being able to express anything that I feel. So writing came to me easily. So I was able to do so. And I never understood that it was channeled until much later. But the poems actually just came out and they expressed what I was feeling at that very moment. I had a collection of them. I'd been married and I was just tossing them and throwing them away. And my husband said, "Why don't you publish those?" So I just thought he was silly, but I went ahead and I did it. And it felt so good to have it removed from me, but still able to be showcased in such a beautiful way.
That's such a beautiful story about how your husband encouraged you to publish your channeled work, your heart's work, because that's what it feels like to me. And your first 2 books are collections of poems, and your third book that you just published is different from the others. Would you like to tell me how and what inspired that book?
Yes. The first 2 are just channeled poems. The first one is basically, a collection of when childhood and what I went through and, my life. The second one was channeled after the death of my son, Andrew. He committed suicide at 28. And that poetry book was about that. The third one is actually a book about Andrew, telling who he was. And, he was more than just the acts that, led up to his demise or his passing. And he's so much more than that. So I wanted people to get to know who he was. And it's kind of like a story of our becoming, his becoming for his transition into spirit, and mine into stepping into my mediumship. So it has that as a part one, and part two is the poems that come after, the enlightenment and the love and just the joy that comes from me stepping into my power and me finally learning he's fine.
That is so wonderful. And why don't you hold up the book and show us and tell us the background for, or the book's name, which I found so beautiful.
Oh, it is called Sonshine, and it's SON for my son, Sonshine. And it's from prison to paradise. Because at some point I felt like, my heart was locked in this prison, and it's like, no, it's not.
Do you have another book coming up, or do you feel like you're done writing for a while?
Oh, I have several. My guides have told me to not be so lazy and to get in there and just do it. I actually have one that they've been telling me to write that is a 4-book series. So there's more to come.
That is wonderful. And you, before we started the interview, you told me about what transpired this weekend and how that might inspire another book as well. Do you want to share?
Absolutely. Through the story of Andrew, he actually committed suicide in jail, and he had been the drunk driver 3 years prior. And it took the life of one young man, and it really maimed another. Both these young men were in the opposite vehicle. They weren't wearing seat belts. It was like the worst case scenario. So over last weekend, the mother of the young man who passed, the mother of the young man who was maimed, myself, and even my youngest daughter, we all met up and we all had breakfast. We all shared the love. We all shared just this peace, and just we all shed tears. And it was very therapeutic and very loving. We tried to keep in touch, but this was just the first time we actually met. So it's been 7 years since that happened. And I encourage them to write their story, to start with, their son and what they've gone through. And I'm hoping to collaborate with them, and that we can get one book together and just share the love that comes from this, and how even though there are no winners, we all have an important part in affecting everyone else's lives. And I always say that we're like bumblebees. We buzz together, getting pollen on each other, hurting each other, but we're all here to learn and grow. So I think this would be an incredible way for us to all get together and share the beauty and magic of the situation and what came out of it.
Wow. You told me this in like a briefer version before we started the interview, and now that you've given me the whole version of it and it actually being their mothers, I was just getting goosebumps and my eyes started tearing up, and it's just such a wonderful story, and that book idea sounds really amazing. So I hope it comes to fruition, and if not, it's whatever's meant to be will be, right?
Absolutely. But I do see us collaborating with the sharing of the love. And it makes me emotional as well, because we all share a pain and a sacredness and of motherhood. And I want to bring up one thing. In the courtroom before Andrew had passed away, we were all in the courtroom. I was the only one behind my son when they were reading the verdict of guilty. The other mothers came over and got me so I could hold hands with them. And I thank them for that grace. There's so much love in this story, and so much is coming, and I feel it, and I'm just grateful.
This is the most beautiful story. So those are your books, your beautiful books, your gift to the world. And then the other part of how you are sharing your mission with the world is your services that you offer. So I want to ask you some questions about those.
Okay.
What kind of services do you offer to the people who are drawn to them?
Well, I offer the mediumship readings. Some people just want psychic readings. I can do those. A lot of people, I gift my Reiki. So people that have had COVID, those that aren't feeling well, people with cancer, they can contact me through my website and I can gift them the gift of Reiki. And, so I love doing that. And then my books are also available online.
And
So
if I wanted to do a session with you, would you be able to do that in person only, or do you have any other options?
Well, I do it in person in the Phoenix area, and that is not a problem. I also can do it over the telephone or over Zoom. So there's nothing that's required. You don't have to be here because all spirit needs is the clear channel
Mm.
and me and you, and it's easy.
So if I were to come to you for an in-person session, what could I expect?
You could expect clear and evidential information. You could expect your loved ones to come through and tell you things that only they would know. So that's why I say it's an evidential medium, because there are things that I have no idea. Yeah, I had one incident where someone was talking about fried bologna. So, I mean, and the woman started crying, and I have no idea what that means. It just, whatever is given to me, it's my job just to give it, and I don't judge it. So they know what they're saying. The spirits know what they're saying. My message is just to give what I get. So
Mm.
when I say evidential, that's what I mean. There's evidence. There's things I don't know, but it comes out.
Cool. And what in terms of logistics, what happens from the moment I ring your doorbell until I leave?
You come in, we take a few moments and take a breath. I walk you through the process. I share with you a prayer, protection, and guidance. We ask guides to come in, give the reading. I pray and thank them afterwards. And then we can discuss your reading if you want, or if you feel that I need clarification on something, like you want to tell me why the fried bologna was so important, we can do that. And, basically that's it. But everyone leaves me with a sense of peace and love. And I do care and have a big respect for them. So they oftentimes find that my natural ability to nurture and care, there's follow through, and they'll let me know.
Wow. Okay. And I guess if it was a phone session, it would be quite similar, except we're just not in the same room.
Correct. And I've often gifted my book Collateral Damage to grieving parents, because they tend to come a lot,
Yeah.
because like attracts like. So I get that, and I understand what they are going through, so I can give them that validation. And oftentimes, since it's unnatural to bury your child first, because logically you can't go there, I end up gifting them collateral damage, which is very real and very raw.
Yeah.
So they understand that I fully get where they're at.
So that horrible experience you had losing your son to suicide is also what enables you to have this gift of having that full understanding of what it feels like to lose a child. And you can give that gift to someone, because in that shared experience, we're no longer alone.
Absolutely. And that's a beautiful, eloquent way to say it, but that is absolutely true.
Beautiful. You mentioned Reiki. If I wanted a Reiki session, is that something you would be able to offer me?
Absolutely. And I can do that in person or remotely as well.
Okay. Would I then tell you what I'm struggling with, and then you would work on that, or how would that work?
How that would work would we would talk on the telephone or in person. I would ask you how you're doing physically, mentally, spiritually, if there are any areas that you want me to concentrate on. And then, you would lay down if you were here and I would scan your body. And a lot of times your body, your energy tells me more than what you verbally can. So I would work on those areas, and I actually call in healers on your team and my team as well. Sometimes ascended masters come and help, and archangels. I've had it all. So come in, assist you with the session. And then sometimes spirit, wants to come and talk, and I tell them not now, but you can help with the healing if you want. So then after the session, we discuss things. And one time I was doing it remotely on a gal, and I asked her, "What's going on with your toe?" And she started laughing. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even tell you about that." It's just all energy, and you have to explain to them it's energy. I can feel it. I sense it. It's real. So
Okay, great. Wow, that makes it clear for me. So if I wanted to contact you for a reading or a Reiki session, or I wanted to check out your books, where can I go?
you can go to my website, which is mediumadelita.com. And there is also an email that is adelita@mediumadelita.com.
Okay, that's very straightforward. So mediumadelita.com and adelita@mediumadelita.com.
Correct.
Cool. When we talked earlier, you mentioned that you are developing a talk as well. Do you want to share a little bit what that's going to be about?
Yes, actually, it is about grief and about how being able to not be able to express that love that we have for that person that is mixed up, and that's that love that you have that you cannot release. So what I'm doing is I'm talking about grief and what I experienced, and I get mine out through writing. So I'm thinking of it like an energy that is built up that we have to express. And most times when we are expressing things, whether it's writing, singing, poetry, whether it is dancing, creating, meaning painting, that is when we are closest to spirit, and that's when we're able to get the grief out. So the grief that I talk about, it's called Polished by Grief. That is a way of expressing our grief and that love that we can no longer hug or tell that person that we love them and we won't get the response. But that is absolutely what my talk is about, being able to express the love that we have when we cannot physically see or feel them.
That is such an amazing observation. And this is new to me because with expressing emotions, we often talk about how we're not necessarily always expressing our negative emotions. We judge the emotions and we push them down, and they're not appropriate to express. And when someone dies, there is grief to be expressed. And what I've never heard before is that longing for expressing that love that's there and finding ways of doing that, which to me is a whole other perspective of losing someone. It's that love. So I really appreciate that thought and that concept. So I want to thank you for it.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Is there anything else about your work, your books, or anything that you would like to share with the viewers?
Just that a lot of people have a lot built up and a lot of grief, and any areas that you may need help with, I'm here and I can help. And we are all together. We are all connected. We are all one.
Thank you. That is wonderful. And I can attest to how amazing your mediumship sessions are, because I've had one with you and both my mom and dad came through. and the information you gave me, you could not have known in any other way. So it's such a gift and a blessing to be able to connect with them. And it's said that you can connect with anyone and anything whenever you want. And there are ways of doing that, but it's not necessarily super easy. But Adelita, you have the skills and you have that natural ability. So for me, my way of connecting with them was through you, which I'm deeply grateful for. So my last question for you today is going to be, what is your best tool, tip, trick, or advice for people who want to manifest their goals and dreams quickly and easily?
Believe it. Put it in your mind and know it's coming. No second guessing, no wondering, no asking if. It is so, and believe it.
Awesome. What a wonderful way to end the interview. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and for sharing your gift with the world. I am deeply grateful for having met you, for being your friend, and for this time together.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, please click like, share, and leave a comment. If you would like to keep receiving content with the best tips, tricks, and hacks to make the law of attraction work for you, so you can create the life you want, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.